Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. With November well underway now and pretty much the year for a LEGO Star Wars fan coming to a close, there's not really that much exciting left. The October UCS set has been out for about a month now, surprisingly, because it feels like people are still talking about it. And then we still have about a month or so until the January sets are officially revealed by LEGO. So we do still have this dead time-ish, kinda not really dead time, because we do have some leaked images of the January sets, but there's not really that much to talk about now, so I have decided to take this time on the channel to talk about the minifigures that we had in 2025, specifically my top 10. And again, I'm going to say this is my opinion, so if you think that none of these belong in the top 10 or you think all of them, that's you. This is just my opinion. I just want to talk about it. I will have a few voting things on the channel on what you think some of these are worth with their placement, but this is going to be my rating out of all of the 2025 minifigures, excluding UCS sets, since I do not own any UCS sets and I did not get any this year. So if you take a look at your screen here, this is every single minifigure that was released this year, 2025, except for any of the minifigures that were in the UCS Death Star, and then any of the minifigures that were in the Advent calendar. But apart from that, this is all of them. Some were in UCS and normal ones, like the Jango Fett. I do not recall if I put him on here twice. I do think I did. But as you can see, it is quite a bit. Honestly, when I made this, it looked like less than I thought, but yet at the same time more than I thought. So we definitely did get a healthy sum of minifigures released this year. Now, obviously, not all of these on the screen are new to this year, such as the Grogu. We've had Grogu before. The battle droids, those aren't new or anything. Some stuff isn't new, but then we do have some new stuff, like the Lama Su, the UCS Jango Fett, Plo Koon, ones like that. But without further wait, let's go ahead and begin our top 10 rankings. So starting off here with some honorable mentions, these are three minifigures that I do think could be in the top 10, but they just weren't good enough. I would say my number 11 would definitely be Ventress out of these. Then I would say the 327th Clone Trooper, and then Commander Bly. Commander Bly was originally in my top 10, but then once I got a hold of him and thought about some of my other rankings more, I moved him back here because there are some inaccuracies about him. And if you go into my minifigure of the week episode on Commander Bly, which released back in August when I got the MTT, you will see how I explain more about his inaccuracies. And then as far as the 327th Clone Trooper, I do still like it. I think it's nice. I like Clone Troopers. I don't hate the helmet holes. Yeah, I can see why most people don't like them, but I think they're okay, and I'm okay with the no wastegapes. I can look past it. I'm not saying other people can't. It's just my opinion, which is pretty much the whole point of this video. So these are the honorable mentions for the 2025 LEGO Star Wars minifigures. So starting off here in the number 10 spot, I have the Ahsoka Tano minifigure from the Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor earlier in this year, back in January, which does feel like a long time ago. I honestly forgot that this set existed. In fact, I'm looking at it right now, and I honestly forgot the way that it looked. But this was definitely a very nice minifigure, a very nice Padawan Clone Wars version of Ahsoka. We hadn't really seen that version since the early Clone Wars minifigures where they had the really big eyes, and I think they looked terrible. But this one definitely does look nice. It is a very good take. It has some nice printing, nice detail. And then they have the shorter legs, not the legs that you can't move, but not the adult legs, to show her Padawan size compared to the Anakin Skywalker in that set. And I know a lot of people were really mad about a $45 Jedi Interceptor. However, I do think it is a nice set, and we did get some nice minifigs in that, including this minifigure. And then next up here in the number 9 spot, which is probably surprising to most people, I have the ISB Tactical Agent. I feel like for most this was a pretty forgettable minifigure, however it was not to me. I really do think this is one of the nicest Imperial minifigures that we got. In the U-Wing, I know a lot of people were again upset about the price with that, which was pretty much the overall theme of 2025, but this is as far as minifigures, not as sets. So with this minifigure, I think it looks really nice. I really do like the white and black, like, Imperial outfits. They all look cool. Director Krennic, Admiral Thrawn. This looks really good with the armor and the printing and everything. And I don't have it near me right now, but I'm pretty sure with the leg printing, it does not have the same issue as Dejamiro did, where, like, the white was kind of, like, translucent and didn't look very good. On this minifigure, it was very nice, and we did get another riot shield with this minifigure, which I feel like some people like those, especially those who collect Coruscant Guard, like getting as many riot shields as they can, because I know I have one friend who tries to get a lot of the riot shields and put them on his Coruscant Guard minifigures. So this one was definitely very nice. It's very detailed. It just looks very clean. That's about the best way I can explain it. It just looks good to me. I don't know if other people like it, comment why you like it, but for me, it's just the cleanness and sleekness of this minifigure, and that's why I have put it in the number 9 spot. Next up in the number 8 spot here, we have the Clone Cadet, which was in the Camino Training Facility gift with purchase. This was available back for May the 4th, and then I do think LEGO had it available again during the August releases. This minifigure is pretty much perfect. I just didn't have it further up in this list because I feel like there are others that are just nicer. And I feel like they treated this minifigure in ways that they should have treated other minifigures, especially with this one having both arm printing on each arm and dual molded legs. That is something that is very rare, especially in LEGO Star Wars nowadays, and I do think this minifigure looks really nice. We have the nice, printing on the torso to get, like, the folds and the vest they wear and stuff, and it's just really nice minifigure, and I do think it was nice that they included 3 of these in the set that it was in. And overall, that was a very nice gift with purchase. I am very lucky that I managed to get my hands on that. And as far as minifigures this year go, this one definitely had the most, additional stuff, like arm printing and dual molded legs, that a lot of minifigures also should have gotten, which would have definitely changed up this list. And then next up in the number 7 spot, we have Oddball here. This was in the ARC 170 set that also released back in January, which I also forgot happened this year, but this one was my personal favorite minifigure out of all of the clone pilots in that set. They all did look good, but the Oddball one I do think looked the coolest with the helmet thing. If I had to rank them, I would probably do Oddball, then Captain Jag, then the standard clone pilot. But with the helmet printing on Oddball, I just think it looks nice. Captain Jag, was very detailed as well. They all were very similar. I just decided to put this one on the list because I do think it has the nicest printing and stuff on it. But these minifigures were definitely done very well, very nice and proper for the Phase 2, Revenge of the Sith style clone pilots. And I do think it is smart that they did use the visor style that they used with the Rebel pilots, with the printing on the face and then just putting the helmet over top of it. And then I do think that the torso and leg printing is very nice. These could have benefited from dual molded legs, but I do not think it's that big of an issue. And as far as minifigures this year go, this one, it wasn't exactly one of the best, but it was one of my favorite. Then next up here in the number 6 spot was one that was very difficult for me to rank with these, which was the Lama Su minifigure, which was included with the Jango Fett's Slave 1 set. The playset, not the UCS version, and I do feel like this was probably one of the best Kaminoan minifigures that we got. I mean, I know there's only 2, but the Tanwi does look very nice, but Lama Su here definitely looks way better, and I feel like as far as Kaminoans go in the future, I don't think we're going to get any better than this. I mean, the printing on the cloak part is very nice. I know a lot of people were mad we didn't get that with the Imperial Dignitary in the UCS Death Star, so it is nice that we got it on this. And then the head mold, you can tell they put a lot of detail into this minifigure, and I do feel like this one is really nice. I would have put it higher up, but just when it comes down to my personal opinion, I do think it belongs here in the number 6 spot. And then moving into the top 5 here, we have one of the more higher anticipated sets or minifigures of the August wave, that being the proper Phase 1 clone pilot. This one was in the V19 Torrent along with some other nice minifigures. You saw Ventress in the honorable mentions, and then General Obi-Wan may or may not be in this video at some point soon. But this minifigure was definitely very nice. It has the standard clone legs, which I actually didn't realize until I saw it next to the Phase 2 plain clone troopers. I realized they were the exact same style legs, so there is consistency with the armor and stuff. And then we do have the life pack on the front of the minifigure, and there is also some more design on the back. And then the main thing about this minifigure is the helmet mold that is specifically made for the Phase 1 clone pilot, and it has the nice yellow stripe and Republic logos and everything, and it does look very good. I know a lot of people were upset about the yellow line not going all the way back, or the visor not covering the entire helmet, but I do not think it was that big of a deal. Yes, it would be nice, but I kind of looked past it, and as far as minifigures go, I do think this was one of the better clone troopers that we had this year. Way better than the 327th clone troopers and stuff, but it's not one of the best, so that's why I have it here in the number 5 spot. And then next up in number 4 here, I have the Jango Fett minifigure. Now, whether it be the one that was in the playset or the UCS version with arm printing, I probably would have kept this minifigure in the same spot. I do think that it is very nice. It is probably the best version of Jango we have. This debuted the new antenna piece that we have, which I do think looks way better than the old ones. The helmet mold is slightly updated and everything, and then the UCS version does have the arm printing, but this video is meant to be just standard playset minifigs, so I ranked it with the normal playset version, and I do think it is very nice. It probably could be a little higher up on this list, but I just do feel like that the top 3 are definitely the top 3, so this one is just going to get the number 4 spot. So entering the top 3 here, we have the number 3 spot, which was probably the most anticipated clone trooper minifigure of the year, and one that may have let a lot of people down, but I am not that upset about it, and that is the Galactic Marine. I do think this is a very nice minifigure. I am glad that they kind of changed it up from the Snow Trooper minifigure that we have, because I know a lot of people thought they were just going to recolor that. And I honestly think that if LEGO wants to go in a direction not to just waste this minifigure's new mold, they might start using this mold on the Snow Troopers, which I wouldn't be opposed to. But this minifigure is very nice. It has nice detailing. I just think it looks really cool. Both the minifigure and the Galactic Marine in universe, I really do think are nice. I know a lot of people don't like the no wastegate thing, but I feel like it's not that much of a necessity on the Galactic Marines as it is on Commander Bakara. I feel like since his helmet looks really big on Bakara, like the no wastegate thing makes his proportions look off, but on these guys I think it looks fine. The one thing I don't like about the Galactic Marine that's stopping it from being in like the number 1 or 2 spot is that there wasn't any printing on the backpack. So if it had backpack printing and a wastegate, this would definitely be the number 1 minifigure of the year, but right now I am going to leave it at number 3. And then coming in at the number 2 spot here is a minifigure that was very nice, but not that expensive to get, that being the Plo Koon minifigure from the Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter Microfighter. I know a lot of people were very upset about that not being the full-scale Starfighter version of his ship, like a $30-$35 set, which I also think it should have been. But as far as this minifigure goes, we would have gotten it either way, so I'm still glad that we got a Plo Koon this year. And then we are supposed to get Wolfpack Troopers some point. I mean, there's always seems to be a rumor for Wolfpack Troopers, so I don't know. But this Plo Koon minifigure definitely is very nice. It has nice printing on the torso and the legs and everything, but the main star of the show here is the new head mold for Plo Koon. It definitely looks way nicer and way more accurate than the old 2009, I believe, version that was in his old Starfighter. But this minifigure is definitely very nice. The Microfighter does look cool, but obviously it would be better if we had gotten the real version of it. But like I said, we still got a very, very nice Plo Koon minifigure, so this one definitely deserves the number 2 spot. And finally, without further wait, my personal pick for the number 1 minifigure of 2025 is the General Obi-Wan Kenobi minifigure from the V19 torrent. This minifigure has arm printing, nice leg printing, beautiful torso printing. It has the double-sided face. It just looks beautiful. It has everything you could have asked for in a Clone Wars style General Obi-Wan. I mean, I can't really think of anything. I don't think he needs dual molded legs. That's not a necessity in this. I definitely think that they did good with the printing. It just looks so good. It reminds me of seeing like some of the custom minifigures of Clone Wars style Obi-Wan, but I think LEGO did it way better than any customs company could have, which LEGO usually does. And they just blew it out of the water here with this minifigure. That was a good set. All of the minifigures were good. They were all mentioned in this video, so LEGO definitely did something right with the V19 torrent, and the minifigure design team should be absolutely applauded for this General Obi-Wan Kenobi, because it just is the best minifigure of 2025. Well, folks, that is it. We have all of the top 10 minifigures of 2025. Just going over it again, we have number 10, Ahsoka Tano, number 9, the ISB Tactical Agent, number 8, the Camino, the Clone Cadet, number 7, the Captain Oddball minifigure, number 6, Lama Su, number 5, the Phase 1 Clone Pilot, number 4, Jango Fett, number 3, the Galactic Marine, number 2, Plo Koon, and then number 1, General Obi-Wan Kenobi. I definitely think all of these deserve to be in the top 10 in these spots. If you think they should be in a different order, or if you think there's a different minifigure that should be in the top 10 that isn't a UCS minifigure or wasn't in the advent calendar, you can go ahead and put those in the comment section down below, and I will definitely check that and maybe reconsider some of this. But as far as today, this is my opinion on the top 10 minifigs. We saw the honorable mentions. We have Ventress, Commander Bly, the 327th Clone Trooper. The Clone Troopers, I mean, I liked them. I don't think they were terrible, but LEGO could definitely do better. But as far as this year is concerned, these are the top 10 minifigures of the year. But with all that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of your top minifigs of the year are down in the comments below. Please make sure you do like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video to help us reach our goal of 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And then make sure you tune in for the next one.